Alright, hello, this is Jeremy Williamson. I'm going to do a quick demo of a Scrabble game developed at Netbeans. Here is our Netbeans project. We open up the package. You can see we have a controller, a model, and a view package. The view is a Scrabble icon, file, resource file, and then our board window, which is a swing J-frame used to display the game. In the controller, we have instructions, which is the main controller class. Scrabble, which has the main method, creates an instructions class, and creates or runs all the event handling methods in the file. And if you go into the instructions, you can see all of the variables and the methods used in the game, mainly for handling events in the board window. You can see we have an intern button pressed, start new game button, and then we have also handling for each of our rack buttons, which hold our game tiles, and then at the end is our space button press, which handles any events of any of the board buttons on the game board. Alright, let me go ahead and run it just to show you what it looks like. Oh, I've already got an instance running right here. We'll pull that up. This is the window you'll see. You can see that the game board is drawn, and this is not, if we go into the design of the board window, you can see in the panel, this is a dummy panel created just to make the layout right. But you can see there's no buttons actually designed or laid out in the designer. The buttons are all laid out programmatically, dynamically when the game is run, based on our model of the board. Alright, so we'll go back to it. This is the board. When we start a new game, intern, we'll get an error. We'll go ahead and start game. Select players. I'll just say 2 players. Put in Jeremy, and we'll say Joe. Player 2. Once you put in the players, player 1 starts and gets 7 tiles pulled from the bag and put onto his rack. You can see once you start the game and you start your turn, the only space available is the center space, just as in Scrabble, and you have your rack. Now you select the tile from your rack to put it on the board, and the only valid square is the middle square, and I'll show you how that works. We'll go ahead and select the letter. I'm trying to look, see if there's a word we could use here. We'll go ahead and with maybe see something better than I see, but I'll just use this. We'll use a quick one, easy one. SAP, and you can see our once we select our rack tile, it is selected, and then we have the opportunity to select an empty space on the board, an empty valid space. As you can see, we validated spaces that you're able to, by the Scrabble rules, to put a tile down. So I'm going to go ahead and put my A down there, and then it makes all your rack tiles available again. And also, we have game states set up so that when you select a tile, you could put the tile back by selecting the tile again, and you can see it's put back in my rack. So the game knows whether or not you have a tile selected, and it handles it accordingly. Same goes for if you do not have a rack tile selected, you could take tiles off the board, and you could see the validation revalidates the squares or the spaces that you could lay down in based on what you put on the board. And I thought something very interesting about the validation: when you put one on, you have all 4 adjacent. Now once you start to form a word, you can only play in down or across per Scrabble rules, and the validation will already or automatically set that up for you. So if you place an A, it knows you're going across, so you only have the left and the right, or the beginning and the end of the word to place. Now say if I wanted to start going down, it'll only allow you to continue the word up and down. So let's go ahead and put a word on there just to get it going. Here, it's not really a word, but we'll play it. And there's no word validation. There's a challenge button in the latest version that the player has the opportunity to challenge any word played. The game doesn't control that automatically. It will look up a word list to check to make sure the word is in the word list. We have an array list that is made. We basically read in a file, it's a file scanner, the word list .dat file, which I've created from a list of words from an open source word list used for spell checker programs, which is sufficient enough for what we were trying to do. But then, so in the next turn, you see we were scored correctly, and if we look down at our log here, you can see that it keeps track. It says S. Now, basically, this is the function when the game starts scoring the word based on the tiles laid down, and it'll pick up the S was the first letter it picked up, and then it goes through each letter that was laid down and creates words based on what was laid down. And you see it's picked up each tile that was laid down and creates your word, which was pass, and then scores it correctly. We have a score of 5, 3, 1, 1. Now let's say we do another one. We'll do for player 2. We'll play off of this word. I'm just going to do a quick demonstration. I'm not worried about what kind of words. I just want to show how the game works. Again, you can put down the first one and a validating. When you see all the adjacent squares to the ones already played are the only valid squares. Now when you lay down another one, it changes to only tiles that are valid based on the tiles you've already laid down. So with this tile, it knows I can only go across or down. Alright, let's say I go down again. It's only going to allow me to go down. And if I was going to go across, it would only allow me to go across. Alright, so let's go ahead and show multiple words. So if you were to play a word, if you were able to play multiple words in the game, say we played that M and turn, and then you see our log, it would actually show the words that were picked up. SM and RM, and for some reason AR is played, which is not correct. In the latest version, this is fixed, but like I said, I do not have the latest version right now with me, so I might have to do an update video to show that. But there you go. And it'll score appropriately, and it did pick up the double letter score space. And it'll tell you right here, a double letter score detected for the R, and it should score correctly. And it's gonna add for all three of these words, which isn't correct, but like I said, the latest version is right. All right, and that's pretty much it. And then there's an error right there because I ended turn without playing any tiles. For future versions, or the plan was to implement a pass, and so if you end turn without playing a tiles, it would go ahead and pass, and you would have the opportunity to trade in tiles and get new tiles. And then of course there would be a challenge button that would allow you to challenge the last words played, which, like I said, is implemented in the last version, but this is not the last version. But I just wanted to show a quick demo of the game, show what it looks like, what the code looks like. You see the models. I have each space button, and the board is an extension of a J button. I've only added assigned space, which is the spaces from the board. Each space is a class with a assigned tile, an index, score modifier, and a label, whether or not the score space was valid or occupied. A couple things we didn't use there. But I believe believe they were used in the last. But there you go. It's just a quick demo, just to show what it looks like. So thank you, and I appreciate it. And that's our Scrabble game so far. All right, thank you.